Have you ever seen a musical performance so crazy that you ended up talking about it for the next couple of years? Well, I saw a musical performance like that, and it was from a member of my own family. In 2001, I moved to New York to start a band with my younger brother. And I was really hesitant about starting this project with him. I was like, "Oh, you're my little brother. I don't know if I really want to do this." But at the time I had very few options, and he really urged me to come to New York to start this project with him. And then I was ready to turn him down flat out. And then September 11th happened, where terrorists crashed 2 planes into the Twin Towers here in New York. And I remember trying to get on the phone with him when my then girlfriend had woken me up and told me to wake up and turn on television and watch the news. Something terrible has happened in New York where your brother lives. And I remember watching the news and being stunned by the images that I was seeing. I was on the phone with him, trying to get a hold of him, and the signals were down. Hours later, I finally got on the horn with him, and he was okay. But I did hear him nervous on the phone. Anyway, after hanging up with him, I made a decision. I was like, I'm going to New York and we're going to start a band. I'm going to be with him and we're going to start a band together. So I was here in New York 3 weeks after September 11th. And I felt like New York at the time, me as a person. I felt attacked, beat up, destroyed, and in a time of rebuilding. Someone that needed to be rebuilt. So I started this project with my brother called Radio Mundial. And I predicted that we would have a record deal within 6 months. Well, I ended up being wrong. We ended up having a record deal within the first year. And we got a small little recording deal with a small label called Palm Pictures, but was owned by some very prominent people. Chris Blackwell and Gary Kurfürst. You can look them up. And they gave us a small little recording budget of $10,000. They originally wanted to license this demo that my brother had done, which was incredible. But things changed and we ended up getting a deal for a new album. And we found a studio and we went in to record. The thing is that we didn't go in with the full $10,000 because we were behind on our rent $7,000. So you see, for months we'd been playing in bars and in clubs all around New York. And we were working with some great musicians, but really hustling, from dawn to dusk. We were out emailing, promoting, playing, rehearsing, living and breathing this dream together. So we finally get a deal and we end up in the studio, but we can't use the whole $10,000 because we got to pay our landlord $7,000 in back rent. So we have $3,000 that we throw into this recording budget. And we rehearsed for a month. We were doing shows and then we rehearsed for a month, 3 or 4 times a week for 4-hour sessions with a click track. And, we had percussion, drums, bass. John played cuatro and electric guitar and sang, and I played electric guitar and sang. But John sang most of the songs. So why is that an important point? Because remember that small budget that we had? We didn't have a lot of time to record this album. We spent, I think, a couple of days, 2 days, recording the basic tracks. And then it ended up being, or a week. I really, it's hard to remember. But we ended up having only one day to record vocals. So we started with all the backing vocals, I believe. I sang like one or two songs. But John had 13 songs to sing. And before it was his time to start cutting his vocals, he pulled me into a corner and he expressed to me how he was nervous and how his throat was hurting him. He didn't know if he could do it. And in that moment, I think I really excel at those kind of insane moments where I just start cackling and laughing at the insanity of it. Because I just encouraged him like, bro, this is crazy what we're doing. Let's just go for it. You can do it. And he was ready. He was ready. And guys, he sang 13 songs. Lead vocalist level quality on that day. Think about that. Think about that. That's an incredible feat. That's an incredible accomplishment. I still have never heard anybody say anything close to that. I mean, little bro was incredible on that day. One of those songs that he sang was called La Raíz. And it was so good. It was one of our flagship songs. And Carlos Santana ended up covering it. He renamed it El Fuego. But I mean, it was that good of a vocal performance. I mean, it was incredible. And I remember being there on the day, and it was just, I to this day, I've never heard of anybody cutting a studio album where they have to record that many songs in one day. It was his birthday yesterday. So, and we were recalling some of the times and the moments that we shared together. But that's one of the most special musical moments I've ever been fortunate enough to witness up close. It's very important that as talented as you are, as smart as you are, it's almost more important that you surround yourself with equally, if not more, talented individuals. They will help you rise, and they will strengthen you in the times when you're feeling a little low, and you'll do the same for them. Stay great.